Republicans played a dangerous and risky partisan game, and I am glad that their brinksmanship did not work. Senate Republicans insisted they wanted a solution to the debt ceiling, but said Democrats must raise it alone by going through a drawn-out, convoluted, and risky reconciliation process. That was simply unacceptable to my caucus. And yesterday, Senate Republicans finally realized that their obstruction was not going to work.
Chewing gum enthusiast Senator Joe Manchin managing to get attention even though he was just sitting with no speaking role, as he was seen there clearly unhappy with Schumer's post-debt ceiling vote victory speech. He reportedly shared some choice words privately with his majority leader. Here's what Manchin had to say about it when asked.
We heard you refer to this as an effing embarrassing speech.
No, I never say that. Do I? That's John.
Okay, so
You're confusing me with my good friend John Tester.
So, still with us, our close friends Don Calloway and Michael Steele. All right, Don, how am I wrong? Your party is divided, ergo the president's agenda is frozen in midair. Basically, Schumer needed McConnell's permission to hold the debt ceiling vote. McConnell is still going to Charlie Brown the Democrats, and there's no strategy for dealing with the minority leader. How am I wrong?
Well, I think the first thing we have to do here is acknowledge the substantial failing of the Manchin staff for positioning him to be seen and have his reaction seen in that shot. Typically, Senate staff are a little more sophisticated than a big miss like that. I think, secondly, you're not wrong, but as Democrats, we are called to be eternal optimists and believe in Mitch McConnell, even when we have to be in a position of believing Mitch McConnell and believing in the good faith of the other side and the institutions of the Senate. A lot of times when us as progressives are angry at Joe Biden or angry with a guy like a Dick Durbin or a Chuck Schumer, it's because that we get upset with having to wait on them because of their faith in the institutions of the Senate, their faith in how senators are supposed to remain collegial and deal with each other on some degree of respect and on the level. And it gets very frustrating because you know that Mitch McConnell and, frankly, the Republican Party writ large does not behave with that same level of procedural or actual integrity. So the answer to your question is, of how are you wrong, is that unfortunately you're not.
Okay, Michael Steele, the Republicans appear to be happy watching all this. Most of them appear to be kind of just fine with what happened on 1/6. And the august Senator Grassley is speaking at a Trump rally in Des Moines, Iowa tomorrow. What have we learned?
The more things change, the more they stay the same. I don't know why we are expecting, a change in behavior at this point from GOP members. They are falling all over themselves to appear with Trump when they can, to reinforce his messaging when they can. And they use, to Don's point, the procedures of the Senate against the Senate itself. Mitch McConnell's in the minority, but you would think he wasn't. And that is a reflection of his ability to use the tools of the Senate the very same way Donald Trump used the Constitution, used the integrity of the institutions that he governed over as president against itself. And that is the new political dynamic that we find ourselves, which is why, going back to the last part of the conversation, it is important when you have the ability to use the tools to enforce the constitutional principles and ideas and to rein in rogue behavior, you should do so. It's no secret at this point. As long as McConnell and others know they can get away with it, they will. Who is going to stop them? I've been saying it for over 2 years now. They have not once been held accountable for any of it. Any of it. 2 impeachments, COVID, nothing. And at some point, and even when you look at the 2020 election, Brian, Republicans picked up 12 House seats. So, they closed the gap It didn't widen. They weren't punished. So this behavior has no check, and this is why Grassley shows up in Iowa.
Our friends Michael and Don, some heavy words they've left with us tonight. Both gentlemen will receive a copy of our home game, along with our thanks for coming on and spending part of your Friday night with us. Greatly